Hello everybody! Welcome to Agashi Review, where I review movies, dramas that you don't want to waste your time watching. I'll give you a synopsis, shorts review along with my thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Now let's go into the review. So for today's drama review, it's a K-drama called Mystic Pop-Up Bar. So it's a total of 12 episodes and it airs on Wednesday and Friday. It is a Netflix original, no sponsor or promotion to that. Just trying to find something to watch during all this time, obviously. Being very crazy about The King and like literally having to wait for Friday and Saturday to watch it. It's just such a killer. And so I'm watching a lot of the dramas on the way leading up to it. And obviously The King is coming to an end. So basically trying to find something to watch to fill in that spot. But this is actually Dokwak was in this. I like to call him Dokwak. His name is Yuk Sunjae. I just call him Dokwak from Goblin, and so he's actually in here, and I just obviously stumbled upon it knowing it because it was him who was in there, and I didn't expect it to be on Netflix, but it actually showed up on Netflix. So Ajashi and I, we actually watched the first 2 episodes, and like I didn't have any expectation in it. I didn't, because I've seen Dokwak's acting. I just, you know, it's good. I don't know how this drama was gonna turn out. I didn't watch the trailer or anything like that, so we actually turned out watching it, and I actually like it. So we're gonna get to see how it turns out, and it's only 12 episodes, so it is a short drama. So today I'm going over the cast synopsis in the first 2 episodes with you guys. So as for our cast, we have Hwang Jung-eun as Woo Jung, and then we have Park Shin-eun playing the young Woo Jung, and there's Yuk Sun-jae playing Kang Kang-bae, and then we have Choi Wong-young as Chief Kui, and then Lee Jung-hyuk as Department Head Young, and then Yom Hae-ri as God of the Underworld. So for our synopsis, this is actually based off of a webtoon, and it tells a story of a mysterious Machang, which is an outdoor drinking place, pop-up store, bar, which is run by a prickly woman and an innocent part-timer who visits customers in their dreams to help them resolve their problems. So as for our recap of the first 2 episodes, the drama starts us off and back in the late old period time, and we see young Woo Jung walking to the sacred tree and seeing partial of her town burning. Then we flash back to all before it leads to that scene, and her mother is actually a shaman of the town, and she was gifted with that ability as well. Woo Jung can go into people's dreams and solve their problems and help them. She is very well known in her village as they love her for her help, and she loves them to be helping them. But her mother warns her to be careful as it can lead to something bad. And now we see the queen is praying in front of the sacred tree, hoping her son, who is the crown prince, to get better and wake up from his dream. One of the maids suggests to ask Woo Jung to come and help. So they bring her in to help the crown prince. She sees that the crown prince is in deep sleep and not waking up, and she learns that he has many bad spirits haunting him. And these spirits are the ones that were killed by the royal family, and they are now haunting the crown prince. And Woo Jung decides to help him, and she spends nights going into his dreams to help these spirits leave him and everything like that. Eventually the prince is all better now, and the queen rewards her. But after the prince has woken up, he is now a little bit weird. He gazes off and wanders off to himself, and he's always smiling. People would call him oftentimes, and he doesn't respond until his name is repeatedly called multiple times. So there's rumors going on that in the village that Woo Jung is a shaman like her mother, and she has seduced, bewitched the crown prince. So some have seen the crown prince come at night to her house, meaning she's trying to become a concubine to the crown prince. Woo Jung doesn't know about these rumors, but her mother does, and her mother packs up her things and tells her to leave and never return, and she's supposed to go to another town to go live with her uncle. And before leaving, her mother gave her this Pyongyong, which is a hairpin, and tells her that to go on her own, and when she's desperately seeking for someone, this hairpin will bring that person person to her. So she leaves and she learns that the royal family comes and burned down her house and killed her mother. It was because of her. Because of this, she cursed the village and she hung herself in front of the sacred tree. It is now 2020 and she's running the Mystic pop-up store, pop-up bar, and hoping to complete and satisfy 100,000 people. But she is short 9 people and she's been doing this duty for 500 years and she hasn't reached her goal. So we now meet Han Kangbei, who is a contract worker for a department store, and he's afraid of touching human. It's because he has this ability when he touches them, they end up telling them the truth, the hurtful feelings, or anything that is bothering them, their problems. So he has a colleague, Kang Mirang, who he works with, and she goes through some problems, and he helps her as she's about to jump in front of a truck and pretty much kill herself. They end up at the pop-up bar, and when he touched her, she ended up telling the truth, her hurtful feelings that she's pretty much have been getting sexually harassed at the department store by the manager. This got Woo Jung to go and complete her wish to get revenge back on this manager guy, and Kangbei accidentally enters the dream along with Woo Jung, and they find out that his spiritual vision has been unlocked. That's why he's able to have the ability he does. Eventually they help Mirang with her problems, and then Woo Jung and Chief Kwang Kui thinks that now Kangbei will forget the next morning about everything, which he doesn't. He wakes up and he remembers everything of what happened, and it wasn't a dream, it was for real. Now Woo Jung is given a month from the god of underworld that she has to complete her 100,000 people or she's going straight to hell. She is desperate and she realized that her hairpin of what her mom said, and it leads her straight to Kangbei, who is the key to helping her. She offers him a part-time job at night to come and help her for a month. Eventually he rejects at first because things happen as he things could happen to him as he entered the dream world, like bad stuff and all these things can happen to her, and so he doesn't want to sign the contract, and he wants to work things out first before he signs it because he doesn't want anything bad to happen to him, and they'll eventually help him with his ability and stuff like that to help him because he's very timid, he's afraid of touching people, and he doesn't know how to work with it. So this leads him to working his first case with Woo Jung, and which is Miss Ang Dong, who is a lady who lives in the place below his. They learned that she was a bad person before. She caused her friend to die and caused her friend's husband to leave, and now she's raising her friend's daughter as hers, which isn't hers. Plus she is dying of lung cancer, and Woo Jung learns that she was a selfish, evil person when she was young, spreading rumors and everything. It's just how Woo Jung died in the first place, but people were spreading rumors. So she refused to help Mrs. Ang Dong. So Kang Jae stole her dream drink and tries to enter Mrs. Ang Dong's drink to help her. It creates chaos. Woo Jung comes to the rescue and helps and everything like that. And eventually Mrs. Ang Dong, she dies, and Woo Jung agrees to help her by helping Mrs. Ang Dong find her daughter's real father and bring the father and daughter to reunite and explaining everything. So they do end up finding the dad, opening up his locked up memory, bringing him back to meet his daughter again, revealing the whole truth and everything like that, leading Mrs. Ang Dong to finally leave to heaven peacefully. So this is when Kangbei decides to sign the contract and will help Woo Jung, and during his welcome party that they had, because he signed the contract and everything, him and Chief Kwang was actually kind of drunk, and Kangbei asked Woo Jung, why does it have to be 100,000 people? We learned that she killed 100,000 people in her past. When she hung herself in front using the sacred tree, it caused the village to bring bad luck, and it caused them to lose 100,000 people in the war. She didn't want to do the duty of satisfying helping 100,000 people, as she didn't care. She was willing to take any other punishment from the god of underworld, but they gave her her scroll of all her wrongdoing, and this lead her to being in pain and agreed to take on the punishment. So it hasn't fully shown us or explained what was actually on her scroll of all the wrong things she's done. So it could probably be something that has to do with the crown prince or something like that. But it triggered her and it made her suffer and cry, and she took on this duty of hitting her goal of 100,000 people. So she wants to complete all this so she can go to heaven and pretty much leave peacefully rather than, going to hell. So, but yeah, that is the first 2 episodes of it. It is It's very hilarious. It has a lot of like, especially Hwang Jang-eun and Choi Young-woo. Their acting is so hilarious together, and like just having Yuk Sung-jae being a part of them. It's just like the three of them, the trio, have like this hilarious relationship on there. And then obviously he's very nice, so he doesn't understand the clue she gives him, like touch them so they tell you their problems so we can go in and help them and all that stuff like that. So, and it has some hilarious stuff, like she goes into their dreams and she does all these things, and obviously she doesn't cut people a slack, so she's like straightforward and gives them the truth on his deal and like all these things like that. So it's very hilarious. It has there is some some parts that is heartbreaking, like in episode 2 with Mrs. Andong's story and everything like that, how like, yeah, she's done wrong in the past and she just wants to apologize for everything she did, and things got harder and harder for her, and she realized she should have never did that, so a lot of things. And it's like they get to go into and see these people's past and dreams and everything that's bothering them. Something can be horrifying, something can be stupid, something could just be so frustrating and heartbreaking. So you learn a lot of things from it, and pretty much in a way it teaches Kanbei to kind of learn, because he doesn't know how to cope with the abilities he has. But that is the review of the first 2 episodes for the Mystic Pop-Up Bar. If you guys have not checked it out, do check it out. And that is it for today's review. I will see you guys next time.